Welcome back to my channel, guys, and today I'm going to be sliding into my rich auntie face with this dress. So kindly hit the subscribe button and the like button, because I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make this simple kaftan dress with ruffles. So let's head in, guys. So guys, for this simple kaftan dress with ruffles, I'm going to be using this paper to illustrate what we are going to be doing, because if I use my fabric, you may not really understand what I'm doing, because it's large and you may not even really see it. So yeah, let's assume this is the fabric you are using. Your fabric is going to be wider than this, obviously. So let's assume this is the fabric you are using. You're going to fold your fabric this way. So you fold it this way. Then from here to here will be the length, that is the full length of your dress. So as you are folding it, you measure the full length and then you fold it in a way that this one and this one, they both align here. So this is the full length of your dress, and this part here is on fold. You're going to get the largest measurements on your body, and for me the largest measurement on my body is my hip measurement. So you get my hip measurement is 38 inches. So I'm going to get my hip measurement, then I'm going to divide that by 4, whatever I get, and then I'm going to add 10 inches to that. So 38 divided by 4, whatever it gives me, I'm going to add 10 inches to that, and so that's going to give me 19.5 inches. So I'm going to measure that 19.5 inches from here, from here, from here, from here, and from any of the sides. You can decide to start it from here or from here, any of the sides. So if you look at my dress, you see that there are 2 panels with 2 different types of Ankara. So this part here, this pattern, this illustration I'm showing, this pattern illustration I'm showing is just going to be for one side, for one print of the Ankara. So if this is your dress like this part is what I'm working on right now. So I'm going to measure that 19.5 inches. You can measure it from here, or from here, whichever one, because it's both open here and it's also open also here. So, and this is it right here. Now, because I don't want it to be straight all the way to the ground, I'm going to come to the hem right here. That is, you come to the hem of your fabric, and then you're going to get your hip measurement. You divide it by 4. That is the largest measurement again, and for me, which is my hip measurement. So I'm going to divide it by 4 again, and then I'm going to add 2 or 3 inches to that. So 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5 inches. So I'm going to add 2 or 3 inches to that, and that's going to give me 11.5 inches. So I added 2 inches to mine. So I'm going to measure that 11.5 inches right here. That is from here. Then I'm going to use my ruler to draw a slant line from here all the way down here. So I hope you got the drift. So this is what the side of my dress is going to look like. So this is the line drawn right here. So you can decide to add a ½ inch allowance right here. You can take the allowance out of your actual dress. So whichever one you want. For me, I'm not going to add any allowance to this. I'm just going to leave it that way. So now let's work on you can then cut this out. Now this is the side of our dress. Let me just label this, the side, and this is the middle part. So this is the center front, this is the side. So now we are going to draft in our neckline right now. So now for the neckline, I'm going to measure in 3 inches from the tip here. I'll measure 3 inches inwards. So this is it right here. Then I'm going to measure 1 inch downwards from here. So from the tip here, measure 3 inches inwards here, measure 1 inch downwards. Then you connect this way. So this is one neckline. This will serve as the back neckline. So from here again, I'm going to measure 7 inches downwards. From here, from the tip here, I'll measure 7 inches downwards. So you connect. So this neckline here will serve as the back neckline, and this neckline here will serve as the front neckline. So I'm just going to first cut this out now. That is the back neckline. So now that this is cut out, I'm going to cut this one, this V neckline, on only one of the pattern. I'm not going to cut it on this part here. So that's it pretty much. This is the neckline of my dress. So this is the front, this is the front neckline, and this is the front of the dress, and this is the back of my dress. So yeah, this completes it. So you can now place this pattern again on your, you can place your, when you're done, you know you're cutting this straight on your fabric, so you can place this fabric on your other fabric if you're using two different Ankara prints like I'm doing. So you can place this on your second Ankara print and cut this exact same thing. You cut it out, or if you are not using a different Ankara print, you can just cut it all out on the same Ankara fabric. So I hope you understand what I just explained. So yeah, this is just one side of our dress. Now all you have to do now is to cut a facing for the neckline, a facing that will be using to turn the neckline, and then you cut a long strip of fabric that will be gathering to this point of our dress, that is to the side of our dress. So if you look at the dress, you can see that there are ruffles at the side, so you can just cut a long strip of fabric. Depending on how much fabric you have, you can just measure what you have here all the way around, from here all the way around, and then you multiply it by 2. So that can be your gather stitch. That's going to be the fabric you use for your gather stitch. The length can be maybe 8 to 10 inches. So pretty much. So remember guys, also when you are cutting this, remember to add ½ inch allowance to the center front here, because we are going to be joining this one to the other one you are going to cut. So remember to add ½ inch allowance here, and then yeah, that's it. So now let's just move right ahead to cutting the facing and cutting the gathers ruffles. So guys, this is what I'm using for my gathers ruffles. So it is really long. You can see I have lots of it here. So I'm just going to join all of the parts together. So I have like a long piece of fabric that will be gathering for the side of my kaftan. So the length, or the width rather, the width is 8 inches. So this way is 8 inches. This way can be, this one here can be as long as you want. So now I'm just going to move straight to cutting my facing, then we'll move right ahead to sewing all of this together. And this here is my facing, guys. So to get this, just place your pattern or whatever, or your fabric on another fabric, and then you just cut the neckline out here. Then you add maybe like 2 inches. Once you are done cutting it, and you can add maybe like 2 inches this way, this way, this way. So this is your facing. That's how to cut a facing. So yeah, pretty much. And this is mine. So now the first thing, we are going to move right ahead to sewing. So these are my two fabric pieces. This is one side, this is one side. So you can see this is it. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is to sew my facing to my neckline. So I'm going to sew this to the neckline of this right sides together all the way round. I'll sew this way, and then I'll sew this way also. Then once I'm done doing that, I'll show you the next thing to do. So pretty much. So yeah, once I'm done doing that, I'm going to join the two back pieces together. Once I'm done sewing the facing, I'll join the two back pieces together by ½ inch. So I'll join by ½ inch, and then I'll join the two front pieces also together by ½ inch. So you sew it all the way down, but you're not going to sew the front all the way to the hem, because there's a slit in front. So you sew it to where you want your own slit to stop. So now that's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to do all of that now, and then I'll show you the next step. my sewn dress. My neckline finished and then I already joined it at the middle. So this is my ruffle piece. Now to complete sewing this, I'm going to attach my ruffle piece all the way around at the side here. You place it right sides together and then you sew by ½ inch. So this is it. You place it right sides together and then you sew by ½ inch all the way round till you get to the back. I hope you got the drift. So yeah, you keep sewing. You first sew to this piece, then you sew all the way around till you get to the back and to the hem. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. So once you are done sewing the ruffle to the side, then you now come to the midpoint of your dress right here. So this is the middle part of my dress. I hope you can see what I'm showing. So this is the middle part of my dress. So the largest measurements you used when we were cutting our dress, I used my hip for mine. So you get that largest measurement and then you divide it by 4. So you get the largest measurement and you divide it by 4. So for me, that is my hip, 38 inches divided by 4, which is going to give me 9½ inches. So I'm going to measure that 9½ inches this way from the middle point here. I'll measure 9½ inches this way and then I'll mark it down, and then I'll measure 9½ inches this way and then I'll mark it down. I hope you got the drift. And then you do the same also for this side. So you measure 9½ inches from the middle here, 9½ inches from the middle here. Then you can, to figure out the armhole where your hand will pass through for the dress, just measure from the top here. You can just measure 10 inches from the top. So you mark that 10 inches. So from that 10 inches spot, that is where you'll be marking the hip measurements that I just talked about. That's where you'll be marking the hip measurement. So you measure 10 inches from the top down. Then when you locate that point, you now begin to measure. That's your hip measurement divided by 4. So you begin to measure it this way from the middle here, and then you begin to sew all the way down. So once you are done doing that, that is going to complete the dress. So measure this way, and then you also come to this side too and measure this way. So pretty much. So I'm just going to do all of that now, and then I'll show you the final outfit.
And this completes it, guys. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button, tap the like button, and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos when I post them. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.